What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the TV Toycast YouTube channel. As today we are unboxing from the Simpsons Jakks specific line, your favorite comedian and mine, the one and only Krusty the Clown. Man, Krusty's he's a must-have for this line, an absolute must-have. So getting this was a no-brainer, and I'll tell you, these are harder to find. That was one thing about the Simpsons line that has really surprised me over the last several months when these started hitting, because these are made by Jakks specific. And any wrestling people out there probably remember, the WWE Jakks specific line, and those were always pretty plentiful, not real hard to find anything. And I didn't really hear a lot about Jakks ever again until recently when they started doing the Super Mario figures, and they do Sonic and a lot of the video game stuff, and those are usually pretty plentiful. You always find Mario, you always find Sonic. No big deal. I'm sure some of the more obscure characters might be a little harder to find, but the mainline ones are usually pretty plentiful. And so when Simpsons was announced, I thought, well, yeah, I'll just buy these as I see them. I really didn't expect them to become so popular, and they definitely have been. And I know I had a heck of a time tracking down Krusty the Clown and some of the other Series 2 characters, which we'll kind of go over those real quick. Awesome artwork of Krusty. I mean, that's Krusty all day. Love how great these figures are. I love that they added the articulation while not making it like the character still looks good. Like, they did a really good job with these. Of course, we know Homer is kind of a repeat from Series 1, but I think that's all right because Homer's a popular character, so I get that. Of course, Lisa Simpson we recently unboxed here on the channel, and then today we're unboxing Krusty. Mo, the other character that makes up Wave 2. These two harder to find. I did find Lisa randomly at a Target. Just walked in, there it was, had to get it. Again, these retail for about $12.99. Based upon everything in the space, not so bad, right? Mo and Krusty I actually picked up on Target.com, so I got those in, and it was one of those things like, oh, I got to get them, because it's been tough to get these figures, I'll tell you that. And Wave 3 I actually have all of now, so I'll be getting those unboxed as soon as I can, and then I hear Wave 4 will be hitting any day, so they're definitely pumping these guys out, which I don't hate, because there's a lot of characters in the world of Springfield that I do want to get, so hopefully this line continues and becomes just as successful as the Simpsons Playmates World of Springfield line, because I think that line went 16 waves. There was 2 celebrity waves, plus all the play sets with the exclusive figures, so they definitely pumped out a lot of Simpsons figures, which those are excellent, but again, not much for the articulation, so I think Jakks definitely hit a home run here, and I'm excited to dive into it. And Krusty, like I said, he's always been a favorite of mine. A main character, but not an every episode character, and I think that's what's fun about The Simpsons. You didn't see Mo every episode, you didn't see Krusty every episode, but they are important to the show in itself, so definitely cool stuff. I'm going to open Krusty up and kind of take a look at it. And like I said, price points are definitely an important thing as far as figures are concerned, and I think we're going to gravitate to lines that are like a little cheaper, right? I do know, like, there's some stuff I collect, Operation Monster Force, the Fist line, some of those that are a little bit more on the expensive side of things that are fun, but at the same time, getting one that's a decent price is always nice. If he comes out of here, get the box out of the way. This is kind of interesting how they do these, because it's like a carded figure in a box, so. But hey, whatever works for him. The pink background really pops with the figure, so I do appreciate that. Twist ties forever. Twist ties for days. But these pop out of there pretty easily, so I can't complain too much. Not too bad at all. Get Krusty the Clown there. Big shoes to fill. The classic Sideshow Bob episode, when he tried to frame Krusty and became the terror that was Sideshow Bob. We have a Sideshow Bob 5.5-inch figure, so I'm hoping we get him in this line as well. I think that we will. But they do a good job at kind of spreading those guys out a little bit. I actually picked up the other day Itchy and Scratchy from the 2.5-inch line. Krusty there with his microphone. Very cool stuff. Because I feel like they fit well. They're going to be about this tall, but to me, like, that's how big Itchy and Scratchy would have been in scale to these characters, so I think that works. Of course, Krusty's got his classic hair, his pink shirt, his bow tie, his green pants. That's Krusty all day long. I do like that this mic stand, I believe the microphone is removable, so you can have classic Krusty doing kind of his stand-up routine holding the mic, which works good. Holding it there, or you can put it in the mic stand. Krusty the Clown, of course. A clown is always a stand-up comedian. So right there, kind of doing his bit. I think it's awesome. Really, really good figure. Like I said, the articulation is not overly done on these guys, but it's enough to where you can kind of move him around, which I think is great. Like I said, they do a really good job here. I noticed this with the Super Mario figures, because when you buy them, you see that the knees bend, but I didn't expect there to be, the hip articulation and everything else. I'm like, oh, wow, these are actually pretty good figures. Like I said, for what I was expecting, they were a home run for sure. I love the big feet on Krusty. That will definitely make him easier to stand up, which is a good thing. You could probably even stand him up on one foot, I bet. Well, looky there. What do you know? Quite the sidekick there. Very cool stuff. Very, very cool. Yeah, like I said, Simpsons Mania running wild, and that's another thing. I've talked to Travis about this. I didn't necessarily expect the Simpsons line to be as popular as it was. I know the Simpsons have always been popular, and I figured this line would do well, but I didn't expect it to hit popularity like it's hit, in the last several months, where people are going crazy for these figures. And I think it's good and bad. It kind of stinks when a line's hard to find, but it's also good knowing, okay, well, there's popularity behind it. That means people are gonna keep buying them, and hopefully the line will continue for a long time. Series 3 has Home Run Homer, or Baseball Homer, Marge Simpson completing the family, Lenny, which is a fun one from obviously from either Moe's Tavern or Homer's work, and then the fourth figure is Millhouse, Bart's buddy, so that's kind of a fun set there. And then Wave 4, as we know, will have, you've got a new version of Bart, this time with a baby blue shirt, just a slight variant there. We have Carl, Lenny's buddy, of course. Barney Gumble, again of Moe's Tavern, and Homer's buddy. And the Bumblebee Band, which is kind of a random one, but definitely fun. Like I said, I think they're doing a really good job with this line, and we're very quickly getting a pretty good collection of characters. I've heard rumor that there's more deluxe figures coming out, including a King Kong Homer with a mini Marge to hold in his hand, which I think will be great. I would love for that deluxe line to kind of include the Treehouse of Horror-esque characters, because the Simpsons did Halloween like no one's business, and I love that. I think it's so cool. So hopefully that's something we see. And tell me down in the comments below, who would you like to see in the Simpsons line? Is there any character specifically you would like to see, or maybe an iteration of a character you would like to see? Because I know some people were like, Home Run Homer, really? Like, that's cool, but I want the regular characters first. I'll tell you one right now I think would be great if we could pull it off. How about a Bret the Hitman Hart? He appeared in an episode of The Simpsons. He had a NECA Simpsons figure. I think that would be really fun. I'm a big American Gladiators fan, and at one point, Milhouse's mom, Luann, was it Luann Van Houten? Got divorced from Kirk Van Houten, can I borrow a feeling? And ended up dating an American Gladiator. And to go on their date, they got in the Atmosphere ball and rolled away. So, can they pull off an American Gladiator Simpsons figure? I don't know, but I'm here for it. I would be all about that. So, again, all this stuff is fun, and that's what I said. I think a line like this, you can kind of collect it as you want, because you might be like, you know what, I don't need Home Run Homer, I've got regular Homer. I don't need Bart in a blue shirt, I got regular Bart. But if you want to be a completist, it's also not that expensive, which I think is kind of the beauty of it. It's definitely a line I'm enjoying collecting, as I'm only unboxing Wave 2 here, and I got more to come. Mo will be hopefully coming up here in a couple of weeks, as I can kind of fit these in, because the line is just absolutely so much fun. But let me know, are you collecting the Simpsons figures? Did you collect the World of Springfield figures? I had a couple of those way back in the day. I've recently bought a few more, but I remember the first time I saw one, I bought Nelson Muntz, and then I went back and bought Sunday Best Homer, and I bought Hans Molman. Remember that guy? I'd love to see him in this line. There was just something about them. They were fun. I was like, I got to get these. These are really, really cool. And, I went back and bought a bunch of them. But now that this line's out, I'm like, you know what? I'm definitely going to try to pick up as many of these as I can, because they are so much fun. But also check out my other unboxings. If you're a Simpsons fan, check out the Lisa Simpson unboxing. Just did that a couple of weeks ago. I've also unboxed a lot of deluxe figures like Furious Homer, Radioactive Man, and Vampire Burns. You can check all of those out in the archives. Also recently unboxed a bunch of Animal Warriors like Cordoon, The Feralist Stalker, and Pale. Check all of those out. If you're a DC Multiverse guy, check out Santa Batman. Check out Godspeed. Check out Green Arrow, Static Shock, among others. Check all of those out if you want. How about Mattel Elite? Any Mattel Elite fans out there? How about the Headbangers? How about Butch Doink? Luke Doink's coming up. Butch Doink, a.k.a. Bushwhacker Butch. Pat McAfee, The Goon. Bret the Hitman Hart from the Defining Moments line. Tons of Mattel Elite if you're a big wrestling fan. And then speaking of wrestling fans, how about the Unsanctioned Classic Superstars Road Warriors? Recently unboxed those on the channel. This all-new wrestling figure 6-inch scale line from Ringside. An absolute home run. I would love to see more of those. Hopefully we do. I think we will, and I think they'll all be a home run and a very, very, very competitive price point on those too. From Super 7, how about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Ultimate Michelangelo? A really fun one. And how about the Deluxe Thundercats? I got Monkey and I got Lion-O, both available in the archives as well. We've unboxed a lot of stuff here, so it's getting harder and harder to think of specific things because there's been so many things I've unboxed. Here's a random one. How about Gladiator from Mythic Legions? Any Mythic Legions fans out there? That line is so much fun from Four Horsemen. But it kind of slides under the radar for a lot of people. It's not for everybody, but I think those figures are absolutely top-notch. I got into those because of Travis, and then Kyle Peterson does them as well. And I was just like, man, these things are amazing. I got to get some of these. And, 12 figures later, here we are. Also from NECA, how about Captain Spaulding, a really fun figure? I got more NECA coming up, hopefully down the road. I got more to do. I just got to find time to get everything unboxed. That is always the hard part of doing this. But lots of cool stuff in the archives. Check those out as well. Also some big rubber guys like Dusty Rhodes, Road Warrior Hawk, Road Warrior Animal, and the Powers of Pain, of course. Lots of big rubber guys to come as well. One of my all-time favorite lines right now. But that's all I got. That's Krusty the Clown. Also check out the TB Toycast podcast. New episodes drop every Wednesday with a different main event. We also talk about what has us excited and new things in the world of toys. Toy news, what we're picking up, what we're diving into, what has us interested, all that good stuff. And also on the channel, make sure to subscribe. When I hit 100 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway. When I hit, probably 200 and so on, I'll probably be doing more giveaways for every 100 subscribers. So it'll be something fun. I don't know what it's going to be just yet, but I will be doing some giveaways. So get ready for that. And make sure to subscribe so you know how. And, let people know so we can get more people subscribed and make that happen. Also, check out Tales of the Toy Box. I take a deep dive into the Street Fighter G.I. Joe line, which was one of my favorites as a kid. And that's what that show is going to be about, a comprehensive look at a specific line or wave of figures that meant a lot to me personally. So, definitely worth checking out. It's a lot of fun. And I think that's it. Thank you guys for checking out the TB Toycast YouTube channel. That's Krusty the Clown. We will see you guys in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly so I can splash off the top. And I can shut down the shot.